bar training sleeve is one of the best tools and one of the worst tools in police canine training. The bite bar sleeve allows us to teach the dog to bite full, strong, and hard. On the downside, it can teach the dog to become sleeve fixated. This video will help you use the sleeve properly, when to use it and when not to use it.
You can't use a suit to teach this because the sleeve's too flexible and movable. All right, now you're going to freeze up, and he's going to give slack on the line a little bit, and he's going to tell the dog to out. When the dog outs, you don't want to move back really fast, or else he's going to jump. You want to slowly back up once he outs. Okay? Nico, out! Slowly back up. There you go. You don't want to hang out too long either, because if you hang out too long, he's just going to find something to grab.
So as I said before, the bite bar training sleeve can be a great tool in the beginning. It will help us teach the dog to bite full on the sleeve, no matter what type of stress he is feeling, what type of flooring or environmental issue he is discovering for the first time. So you will always want to keep the bite bar sleeve a part of your training program and as one of your tools whenever you are confronting something new for the first time. So for instance, in this building search, you have a flooring that is somewhat uneven, it's squeaky, could be to some dogs be a concern. The dog's also on a long line, which will get tangled up in its legs from time to time. It will hit the end of the line and may confuse the end of the line pop as a correction. Can really bring a dog down as far as his ability or his desire to go out and search. It might be best in a situation like this to make sure your decoy is wearing equipment that the dog feels comfortable with and has a strong desire to bite. The bite bar sleeve is one of those tools. So whenever you're setting up a situation or a scenario that may cause a dog some stress, and in this case, not only do we have the floor, we're going to have a window jump here in just a minute that the dog's going to have to negotiate and then jump into a room that is nearly completely dark. We have a little lighting in there for the safety of the decoy, and the bite sleeve or bite bar sleeve is a tool where some dogs that are under stress will be immediately rewarded because it is their tool of choice. Now let's visit a decoy training session in Orange, California for our monthly Orange County Police Canine Training.
The scratch pants are really not meant to get bit upon. They're just to kind of give you some protection against the nails of the dog. That's why they're called scratch pants. If your dog does bite him, it still is better to have these on than not to have anything on at all. So my recommendation is that always when you're decoying, my recommendation is that you always wear scratch pants. Now, you guys want to take a chance or you feel comfortable in your abilities later on, if you want to forego the scratch pants and not wear them, then that's going to be purely up to you. So that's my disclaimer, which will read underneath the video when you watch it, is that they should be worn because they will protect you to some degree. You'll get bruised, you'll get red marks, that kind of stuff, but it's better than not having anything at all. The bite sleeve is something we use, but we try to use other tools too. This is the safest one for the most part. You can barely feel any pressure. It is a big target for the dog, so the dog can find it. The downside to using the sleeve is if you don't present it properly, the dog will get a bad bite. You see this point here? This is designed to go into the dog's mouth. So his mouth looks like this, kind of, and you want it to hit that point and go as deep and as far back into the dog's mouth as possible so the dog gets a full mouth bite, because his big canines are way back here. You don't want the dog holding on with his front teeth. Bad for the teeth, bad for the dog, and bad for liability purposes. A dog that bites with only his front teeth is going to rip that say the windbreaker that your suspect is wearing, or their clothing, or their pants, and it's going to take some skin with it, which is going to cause a big gigantic hole, which you have to come back and explain later in your case against you for a liability lawsuit. So we want a dog to bite full and grab on, because nothing really is going to, once a dog gets his full mouth on there and those deep canines into the suspect, he's probably not going to be pulled off very easily or rip anything or tear anything. It is much better for the suspect to be bit full mouth than it is to be bit shallow. The hard part for you is that we have a number of different dogs, 6 different dogs, and they all come from different directions and angles and speeds. And so you're going to be kind of twisting the sleeve around up and down to try to catch a dog that comes from down here. You're going to have to point it down. A dog that leaps like a Malinois, you're going to have to point it up. They always try to catch the dog in that point. All right, so that's the hard part. Other than that, everything's pretty simple. The dogs love the sleeves, the big sleeve. They'll chase it. They'll bite it almost every time. Guaranteed, unless they slip and fall or you slip and fall or something like that. So this is the safest tool in the beginning. That's why we start with this. All right. Once the dog is on the bite, you want to move the sleeve and keep the dog busy and want to hang on to the bite. The more you play tug-of-war with the dog, the more the dog wants to stay on the bite. If you come to a stop, the dog will look around and go, well, maybe I can get him moved by going here, tag you. Some dogs like to encourage the movement by scaring you, and so they can do that. All of our dogs are pretty sure, but if we have a conference or a seminar, or say you go to some other department to go help them out or something like that, you may have a dog that once you stop moving, they're going to look for a way to make this game a little bit more exciting. And they'll go to a leg or higher up on the sleeve or get you in the belly or something like that. So you're best keeping the sleeve moving. You don't want to shake the sleeve really hard like that. Bad for the dog's teeth, bad for his neck, even if he does have a full mouth bite. All right. If you see that the sleeve is getting tattered, this one is not yet. You got little strings, but you'll see one that has like 60s fringe on it. You want to get rid of that cover, so you let the handler know that you think the sleeve needs to be changed or something like that. So that will cause the dog to fight with the torn part of the sleeve as opposed to biting the sleeve and getting fully engaged on there. All right, let's bring out Cisco, see where he's at. We're going to bring out the old man. Yes. When the dog's running towards you, you're Don. You're Don, and so when the dog's running towards you, you don't big brick wall to start. You don't want to be a brick wall